Hi, it's Steffi from Steffi's Beads and Baubles. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to show you how to make this really fun wreath ornament. I used glitter paper on the back. I used these are called Canadian pine stems. They're 60% off, so I did not pay $2.99. I used these little bells over here, also from Hobby Lobby. And these are from Hobby Lobby. So everything's from Hobby Lobby, including the papers. This and the back are both in the scrapbooking aisle. So the first thing I did was make a base. Now, all I did to make a base was I glued a piece of this to several layers of cardstock, and actually I use old Christmas cards, like pieces of Christmas cards, and then, let's see, had some pieces here to show you. So pieces of Christmas cards, like this one had a picture glued on it. I just layer 4 or 5 items with this on the one side and the glitter paper on the back. Now on this one I used a green, but you could use any color on the back you wanted to. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to frame it with the, here, I got this one here ready to go. Frame it with the pine. Now, I started this video earlier, and I had a real struggle with it, trying to show you the whole thing on camera. I got glue everywhere. This is a really tough thing to glue down if you cannot look at it close up. So I'm basically going to show you how to start it, and then I'm going to turn off the camera and finish it. But the most important thing is to bend it so that it'll easily go around your cardboard. And because that is the biggest thing, it will fight you. Now you can just, and I might have cut mine a little small. I'm going to see here if I did. I think it's perfect, but even if that's slightly off, it's okay, because there's going to be a bow at the top. And you can face this up, you can face it down. On the one I completed, I faced it kind of sideways. I wasn't paying attention. But I think on this one I'll face it across. I'll do it this way because I think I like that better. So I'm going to start, excuse me, I'm just having trouble clearing my throat today. I'm going to make sure that I start with the flat side here. And I'll have to flatten this real quick because that's where I cut it, so it kind of went up. But basically you're going to start at wherever you want the top to be. And you're going to put a little bead of glue there. Now you can use other glue, but I find the glue gun for this stuff is best because it's really hard. And the other reason why I can't show you the whole thing is that you have to hold each section for quite a bit before it glues. Now I'm using Gorilla Glue sticks along with the Gorilla Glue gun. And what I'm going to do is just start at the top, put a small bead. If you're going to get glue on anything, make sure it's on the front, because the buttons will cover it. But I'm just going to do a little area, and I'm going to push this down on it. And so I'm going to continue around the piece, and when it's completely glued on, I'll come back and show you the next step. Okay, and once it's all glued down, then you can proceed to putting your buttons on. This is where it gets fun, and I just, you can just see, you just kind of put them down wherever. What I did is I anchored a few of the bigger ones throughout the piece. So I just would take and put a little bit of glue and put a button down. Got to tuck it under there. I got a little bit under there, okay. And because I don't want to have too many things that are exactly like the other next to each other. So since I don't have a big selection, and these are the main big ones I have, because green is just one of the ones I don't have a lot of. So I kind of put, I think I put 3 on here because I had some other big ones. But I can, like, here's another big one I can use. So I just started filling it in. I just put whatever button looked like fun. And then you use all these little ones, which, here's all my buttons right here. See? So let me Let me do this. Let me move it slightly over and put the buttons where you can see them. So you can kind of see me picking them out. And now these buttons here are definitely a fancy button, and you might not have these. But I guarantee you can go to the different craft stores or fabric stores, and they'll have decorative buttons. And you can see this one's missing some rhinestones. But for stuff like this, that's okay. I don't mind. But if you want it perfect, then of course, by all means, use ones that don't have missing stones. But, and you can overlap them. Or, now see, there's one where I would put a green stone in that little indent. So what I did is I put a little extra glue in the hole, and then I stuck one of these. See? Just making sure the glue grips it. And then you can fit them in there, see if they'll fit before you put the glue down. Now you can also go in a linear fashion around so that you can make sure everything fits, and that probably is what I should have done. Oh, but what's the fun in that, right? Now here's one that's got a shank to it, so that one I'll kind of balance right there. And then I'll put a little tiny one in there. I got some of these really cute, teeny tiny buttons. And see, that's another place where if you have a hole like that, you can come back, and I put the bells in some of those areas too. It's like I can get 3 red bells. But I just try to do those at the end though, because I'm trying to balance them somewhat. Not perfectly, but you know, at least a little bit. Now here's another really nice one that's clipped onto a piece of paper. And that's a real pretty color. And so that one can go right here. And then right in here I can got room for a little bit bigger button. So, and I like using the light greens and the dark greens. So see, that one can get layered. And you're going to have the little glue strings, which when I'm done I take my needle nose pliers and just pull, because it's just, when you use glue, if somebody could invent glue sticks that did not have strings, wouldn't that be something? And this is not cheap glue. This is the actual Gorilla Glue sticks. I bought the gun and several bags of the giant, big, long sticks online. And we can put another one of these. I don't worry about them being terribly even. I just like to, you know, put them in. And that's the fun of this, is you can stack them. You can, there's no right or wrong. However you want to do this craft, you can do it. Like here's a great big one. You can, that might be too big, so we won't do that. But let's see. Oh, this one's a nice one. I'll put that one right there. I like that one. There's no right or wrong. I tell you that on craft videos all the time, on my, whether it be my ornament bit videos or this type of craft. There's no right or wrong. However you want to put it together is right for you. You know, so if you want to do a pattern, do a pattern. If you like just them being organic, be organic. Layer them if you want. I looked it up, and there's literally dozens of button wreath crafts you can find. And so you just have to find one that appeals to you, a pattern I mean, or just come up with your own. I mean, there's really no, like, see, there's a nice big one. I can fit a couple little ones. And that's the fun of it, though. It's just, you know, now if you're a person that likes everything to look a certain way, then you can absolutely lay it out first. And then, you know, like if you cut out a circle, you can lay it down on the circle. And then you can cut glue everywhere. It's so funny. See if I can fit a little one in here. got so many of these itty bitty tiny little, and they can be, you know, they don't have to be laying perfectly straight either. You can have some that, like here's one that has a shank, and I'll put it right there. Got to put a little more glue when you have a shank, because you got to get that glue down in the shank. And this one's fabric and plastic, so that one should stick pretty well. And then you can see I've got 3 of those fancy ones, and then I can pick where am I going to put the bow. So let's see, if I'm going to put the bow there, then that's going to be covered up, and then we'll do the where we're going to put the red kind of holly looking bells. So this is going to go right there. So I'm going to put and then that way I can see where I want to put the little bells. And you don't even have to put the bells if you don't want to. Now there's a nice section for some bells, and I put the first one into the hole, and then I put the other 2 kind of sideways next to it. And then you can just, where there's a little indent between them, you can put a little dab of glue and stick the little tab of that bell right down in there. And just kind of do that. And you can do 1, you can do 2, you can do 3. Now see, there's a big area down here that I could do it as well. So we'll do a little one there. Now if you're into symmetrical, this will probably make you crazy. But when you do these kind of crafts, it's best if you can be a little open-minded, especially if you're going to wing it like I'm doing it, where you're just kind of sticking stuff in where it will fit. Like I said, if you really like things symmetrical, you can absolutely plan it out symmetrically. And then, oh, I got a big glob of glue there. This glue makes me crazy. Now, a lot of this you could do with the fabric tack, or you could do it with E6000, and probably wouldn't be as messy, honestly. I'm still getting to know the fabric tack because I just learned about it. So that might be something I try in a video coming up. So let's see, we could do another one, maybe in here somewhere, maybe right in here. There's like a little area we could tuck in a bell. Just a little dot more. Now you can also use a precision glue gun, which I do have one, but I didn't think I needed that for this particular piece. And you can keep going, you know what I mean? You can keep going until you have it as full as you want, and then, like I said, if you don't want to deal with this stuff, just use fabric tack or E6000 or any glue that you're comfortable using, because the glue guns do. I gotta wait till it's completely dry before I can really pick all this stuff off. Now what I did for the tie here is I took some of this metallic ribbon. I do believe I got this at Walmart, or Target, but it doesn't say so. But if not, I'm sure you can get something very similar. And I just cut it to a length I like. I didn't really measure. Whatever length you like, just cut it that length. And I use my little precision scissors here. And then you're going to just tie it in a knot. This one's a lot shorter. The other one I think I tied way too long. Okay. And just tie it in a little knot. And then I tie it really tight. Then I cut off all this fraying that's on there. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it on the back right behind the bow. Like right there. I'll put a dot of glue. Put the knot. And if you don't want the knot to show, what you can do is take another button, a pretty button that you like. You could even do, this one doesn't have the stripes on the back, but you could even use one that had the stripes on the back. Ouch, I just cut myself. And you just put that over the knot. It'll dry perfect, and then you won't have the knot showing. And it makes it a little more secure as well. But that's how I make these. And like I said, I'll have to spend a few minutes picking off the strings, but I'm not going to do that till it's completely set. And if there's a piece like that where I just can't get the glue off, I can do this. And I can just put a tiny dot of glue and set a little button on there. See? That's the fun part, is you can keep layering it all you want. I saw some where they were completely layered, some where they were more simple. So I probably could put a few more things on there, but I kind of like it. I wish I had more green to work with, because I probably would have done a little bit more. But this really is a unique item. Whatever you choose to do. Like I said, I saw some where they used red and green buttons. So if you didn't want to use the bells, you could use some of these like little tiny red buttons like this. And you could use, some people use white mixed in with their greens. So there's really no end to what you could do. But it's a nice, simple little ornament that doesn't take a lot of time, that you just mainly have some steps. You want to make sure you do your circles maybe the night before, let them dry overnight. Then this edge piece is what takes the longest, because you've got to really hold that down as you go. But these are the two, and you can see they're completely different. Now this one's a little fuller probably, but that's when I had more of the bigger buttons. Now see, I've still got a lot of strings on that one too. So I had a lot more bigger buttons when I did this one. But you can go to any antique store, not so much thrift stores, but estate sales, antique stores, craft stores, and get lots and lots of buttons. And you can probably even buy them online, big bags of buttons. And they're fairly reasonable, honestly. But I hope you enjoyed this, and it gives you some ideas. It was just a really fun one to make, and like I said, you could do anything you want with it. You can layer the buttons, make them as, you could like leave a small hole and do much more buttons. Whichever way you want to do it, there's, like I said, no right or wrong. The back is just simple with the bow, or with the button and the loop. So I'll be back with more. I appreciate your patience with me. I'm learning to craft a new way. I used to do this kind of crafting years ago. So I'm relearning glue and glitter and all that, but I'm having so much fun. But these tutorials will get a little better as I get more familiar with using a glue gun again, and cutting paper and all those fun. But you can see the difference when you go straight or sideways. It does kind of change it. Now you could go up and down. I don't know, I almost like the sideways better. But it really is up to you. Now you could fill this in with something else if you wanted, but I kind of like the look of the corrugated cardboard. But anyway, I'll be back soon. Thanks so much. Bye.